Aww. What's up everyone, Mark here, and today we are making one of my favorite Jewish staple foods associated with Hanukkah, potato latkes. Potato latkes at their simplest are potato pancakes. The version that we're going to make today is actually a little bit more akin to, I don't know, maybe a hash brown patty. But fried foods have always been strongly associated with the celebration of Hanukkah. The association with oil in the lamp lasted 8 days, frying foods in oil. Fried donuts are another popular food item, particularly in Israel among Jews around Hanukkah. But today, potato pancakes, latkes. So we're going to make this recipe as simple as we can. We're going to try and outsmart some of the tricks that could make it fail. Just by doing a few smart things. We're going to kind of pre-cook, par-cook the potatoes a little bit in the microwave, and we're going to squeeze out some of the excess water to help them brown when we fry them in the oil. So yeah, potato latkes are a great accompaniment to anything. I mean, you can have them by themselves as a snack with some sour cream and chives, applesauce. They're delicious, but they also make a great side for anything. Some eggs in the morning. I mean, I've already compared them to hash browns. They're a great hand food. You can eat them on the go. So before we get started on the recipe, I just want to thank you all again so much for your continued support of the channel. Please give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't like it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the red button down below or the watermark in the corner, and when you do, make sure you hit the bell icon so you get a notification every time I have a new video out. So let's get started. Okay, so our ingredients for today are about as simple as it gets. We have 2 pounds of russet potatoes. These still have the skins on, so even easier, right? They've just been scrubbed under cool water with, the abrasive side of a kitchen sponge, just to get them relatively clean and smooth. We have 1 small onion, about ½ a cup. It's going to come out to once it's grated. We have a teaspoon of salt. We have 2 eggs. 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and a tablespoon of chopped fresh parsley. Now the first thing we're going to do is grate into a microwave safe bowl our potatoes and our onion. And microwave safe because we are going to heat this, par cook this a little bit in the microwave before we form our mixture to make our latkes. And what's interesting is actually this bowl, this actual whole set of Pyrex glass mixing bowls actually belonged to my grandmother. So it's very possible she made latkes in these very bowls. I honestly don't know. So let's get started. Okay, so the biggest problem we have here, and you can see right away, is that this mixture is very wet. It's not really conducive to making a nice brown latke. So we are going to actually squeeze out the excess moisture in little batches using a clean, emphasis on clean, kitchen towel. Just kind of take a handful at a time, wrap it up, and wring it out. The better you can do wringing out your potato mixture or your potato onion mixture, the better a time you will have with this recipe. I guarantee that. Okay, so we are going to microwave our potato onion mixture for a total of about 2 minutes in stopping in 30-second increments to kind of mix it a little bit. Make sure that it is kind of heated through, and all we're really doing here is slightly par cooking the potato just to help get a head start when we form our patties and make our latkes. Now the water, like I said, you can see already there's starch settling to the bottom here. When this comes out of the microwave, it's going to be a little hot, so I'm going to spread it out on a rimmed baking sheet to cool for a few minutes. And during that few minutes, the starch that we want to save is going to settle to the bottom of this measuring cup. We're going to pour off the water, and the reserved starch will be like added glue to kind of help hold our latkes together when we're cooking them. So we're going to come back in a few minutes once this is heated and cooled and return to the bowl, and once I have drained off the water and we've got our starch. And that also lets me clean up a couple of other things here. Okay, our potato and onion mixture has fully cooled. I've transferred it back into the bowl. We're going to put this aside for a minute while we take care of our starch and eggs. So as I said, I poured the water off from the potato squeezings, and the starch that was left at the bottom is what is in here. We're going to add 2 eggs and lightly beat that together. And we just want to get that beat together with the starch. That's good. And now we are going to pour this into our potatoes. And we're going to add our salt. I should have added that way at the beginning before I squeezed the water out. It would have helped draw out some excess moisture. Parsley and our pepper. And we're just going to give this a good stir. Make sure everything is evenly coated in the egg starch mixture. Okay, I think we are good. So we are going to get our oil heated up to about 350 degrees. It's about 1/4 of an inch of oil in the pan. We want to have enough to make sure that all of these can cook. We shouldn't have to add any extra, but we've got a little bit of extra just in case we need it. I am going to get these dishes in the sink, get the oil up to temperature, and we will be back to start cooking. Okay, we are almost ready to cook these. Now we want to make sure our oil is in the right temperature range, somewhere around 350 to 375. So it looks like we're pretty good here. You can keep these warm because we're going to do these in batches in a 200-degree oven. Just again to keep them warm while we keep going through them. You're going to drain them on paper towel first, but then you can move them to a plain cooling rack and keep that in the oven and just kind of feed them in there as you go. I'm going to actually be making mine for dinner tonight. To go with dinner, we're having meatloaf, but I'm also going to save a bunch of these once they're cooked to freeze. They freeze very well. If they're vacuum sealed, they last even longer, but a zip top bag is just fine. You just reheat them in the oven and they're a super simple side. So we're gonna get started doing this in 1/4 cup increments. So I'm gonna just use my 1/4 cup measure here to dose this out. And once we start, we do kind of want to work quickly because we want to get these all cooking evenly and kind of at the same time. So I'm gonna dose the potato mixture out relatively quickly, and then I'm gonna press it into discs using the bottom of the measuring cup. Okay, and these are going to go for about 2 or 3 minutes aside. And again, I'm going to drain them on paper towel. A little bit of oil spatter is going to be inevitable with this. That's why I like to use a lid and a clear lid so that I can kind of see what's going on. So just a couple more minutes on the second side, and I think I can probably fit another 1 or 2 in there in the second batch. And I am basically just going to repeat the process until I have made all of these. Now you can make these a little bit lighter, not as deeply browned as I've done with some of these. As I said, again, I'm going to freeze some of these to be finished in the oven at some point in the future. The last of them that I make that are going to be for dinner tonight, I'm going to brown all the way through, because we're just going to warm those up when we heat our meatloaf. Okay, same as last time, about 2 minutes-ish per side until they are golden brown. That was almost very unlucky. Last batch. Okay, now I have another full batch of this that I made up before the video in the refrigerator. I'm going to fry those up, then we will come back and we will have our tasting with some of these. All right, I think we are ready to give these a try. So the traditional condiments or accompaniments for latkes are sour cream or applesauce. I thought honey might also be appropriate. And we have some chopped chives and some chopped fresh parsley, just for a little bit of fresh or green on the sour cream version. So let's try a couple of these. And we will do old school with a little applesauce. Maybe a little bit of honey on the other side. Here we'll do a little bit of the fresh parsley. Then a dollop of sour cream. And a few chives. Let's go with our savory first. So crispy on the outside, but nice and soft on the inside. Could eat a whole plate of these things as a meal. Let's try one with honey. That's surprisingly tasty. And that's the flavor I remember. I think the honey actually helps with the applesauce. Maybe a little bit of drizzle of honey with the dollop of applesauce on top. Well, I can't eat too many of these now because I've got a freeze bunch and I need some for dinner. But thank you guys again so much for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Click the red button below the video or the watermark over in the corner. And when you do, make sure you hit the bell icon so you get a notification every time I have a new video out. And I will see you in the next one.